Lotus Squad, welcome back to Lotus Tarot TV 444. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the squad and welcome to the stream. Now I'm going to give everybody some time to get in here. But while the stream starts to fill up, I just want to say, mash that like button if you want eternal prosperity, health, wealth, and happiness. And also hit the like to show some love, of course. Now, I want to share a few changes with you guys before I get into the nitty-gritty. And it has a lot to do with the changes on this platform as well as my channel as a whole, okay? So what's going on with this? I've noticed that when I watch the playback on these live collective readings, the chat box looks hella dry. So if that is the case, I noticed that if you look above the chat box, it says top chat. You can hit that and change it to live chat to see what everybody was saying throughout the stream. So just a heads up for that. Also to mobile users, I believe that newer phones, of course, have updated with YouTube, right? YouTube made a change of the location of comments. So some of us may see this change, some of us may not. But to the people that do, like you do see that the comments look like they've disappeared, just kind of scroll all the way down on your phone and hit go to comments, okay? So now that that's cleared up, I also wanted to share with you all, I actually put it in the chat box here. I decided to create a new website on Etsy. So right now, this is the more updated way to book a private reading with me, because I know a few of you told me that the old site wasn't working for you. So check out the Etsy site in the chat, as well as in the description box below, all of my videos from here on out. Now, I will be adding other spiritual related items to that website. So I'll do that as I go. So guys, just be patient with me. And yeah, so I wanted to get into some of the energies that led me to want to do this, not just one time and not just two times, but now for the third time, right? They're ego tripping, take 3, right? YouTube has deleted the first 2 streams where I was talking about what was going on in Minneapolis among a plethora of other topics that is so relatable. And I decided to redo this video because there's so much information that live was jam-packed with. So I feel like we need to touch on it a little bit. Now, especially when it comes to social media as a whole, we already discussed the BS that goes on with that. We already discussed the illusions that can be created on social media. But one thing in particular that's been catching my eye has been the race baiting and racism, right? And there are actually 2 things that led me to kind of talk about this topic about how they're ego tripping, right? So the first scenario involved me leaving a comment on another YouTuber's video. Let's just put it like that in layman's terms, right? And this YouTuber is Meet Kevin. If you guys want to check him out, he gives updates about the stimulus. But anyways, I left a comment on one of his videos and I had said something along the lines that the House had passed the CARES Act, right? And so this person, there's always that one person, right? Wherever you go in life, right? So there's this one comment in response to mine said something along the lines of, now you won't have stimulus money to buy any more wigs. And so I'm thinking to myself, when I read that, I was like, okay, that has a little bit of a racist undertone, you know, and it's also unnecessary and unrelated to not only the content of the video, but also unrelated to the content and context of my comment. So just little stuff like that. And it was interesting to mention because there seemed to be 2, it's kind of like, you know, you're the devil and the angel on your shoulder. it was kind of like that kind of reaction. Initially, when everybody started seeing the comment and blah, 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 a couple people were co-signing the bully, which is something that I've noticed a lot of lately. And personally, I feel like it has a lot to do with insecurity and fear, feeling like it's easier to go with the crowd rather than to strike out and speak the truth and speak up and stand for what you believe in. So there were people like that and people that were just really childish. And so basically I roasted them. Long story short, I roasted them. And I did it with eloquence, class, and tact. Okay, I didn't get all ratchet. You know, I was just straight up factual, and that was that. You know, took out the trash. But I noticed the dynamic, and I feel like it's related to what's going on in general. I've seen a lot of race baiting in the media as a whole. I mean, hell, there's all this colorist content on YouTube and, you know, just different things like that, especially with some of the videos I've seen on the racism in TikTok. Like, I've never used it, but just that speaks volumes to me. And especially when it comes to the censorship, for example, you know, talking about what happened in Minneapolis and having that video deleted, you know, just little stuff like that I'm starting to see more of energetically, you know. So all people, like, if people have an ugly character, that seems to be coming out tenfold. And if people have a good character, you'll see that in their actions, in the way that they move. But I am seeing a lot of this racism, bullying, especially. I mean, there was another YouTuber that I saw. I believe it's I'm a G Nation. I think she's awesome. I think she's cute and quirky. I love her videos. And just to see the bullying on the platform. I mean, hell, even Meet Kevin was kind of dealing with that. You know, I don't know if it was real beef, but you get what I'm saying. There's a lot going on social media as a whole, where it just seems like there's a lot of drama, and it's unnecessary drama, right? You can see people's true colors, and it's magnified. So while we're looking in the mirror ourselves and pointing the mirror at others, there's just a lot going on. Hey, Ashley, welcome, sweetie. Good to see you. Now, moving into what led me to want to continue getting this message out there is the fact that I feel like their ego tripping speaks volumes to a lot of different scenarios around us, and even within some of our own relationships. Because keep in mind, there are 4 planets that have gone retrograde, and, you know, we have Pluto retrograde, where, you know, this is all about karmic situations, either, you know, coming to a close or coming to a head at this point in time, having to pay off karmic debt, you know, needing to really analyze what direction you want to go in your life, and looking at how you're living and seeing if that aligns with your higher purpose or not. A lot of things are starting to be, as stated before, magnified. Now, there's also that Venus retrograde, right? Just to kind of segue into the energies that we're dealing with collectively. You know, Venus retrograde, this is focused on love and focused on relationships. So, you know, we've had the experiences where exes may come back, or, you know, we hear from somebody, or maybe we link up, or maybe just come across each other in passing. And with these things, I feel like that's bringing up a lot of unresolved emotions collectively, in a way. You know, a lot of us would like to be left alone, and there are others that are still pining for said twin flame or said soulmate or what have you. But when it comes to these love, you know, the focus on love and relationships with this Venus retrograde, it really starts to put things into perspective when it comes to who we need to keep and who we need to just straight up delete, just straight up backspace on that ass, you know. And thank you so much to those of you that have left the like. I see y'all liking it up. I appreciate the love. And basically, it even kind of goes outside of the scope of romantic relationships, right? Like, we're talking about not just romantic entanglements, but friendships, family relationships, even our relationships within the workplace, neighbors, and just everybody in passing. And it seems like there's just been a lot going on. It's really chaotic right now. Now, I feel like because all of this is going on more so, and everybody is just looking for answers, I mean, which is completely understandable. There's a lot going on when it comes to the riots currently, and just, I understand how it is to want to react out of emotion and anger and outrage at the fact that, we consistently see in the media that, police officers are just getting away with doing this to people, and I honestly, I see a huge shift, especially with that Pluto retrograde, as well as now with the Saturn retrograde that I'm going into. Right now, we're talking about police, law, structure, rules, things of that nature. See, everything is starting to come out in the wash, and what has been done in dark is now coming to light. And if it's already been brought to light, then these situations are starting to be resolved. So justice is quite literally being served in every single realm, or just about every single realm of our lives. Now, I just want to say, especially with all of the channeled messages that I was, receiving months ago about how there would be an uptick in, and trigger warning, be wary of what I'm about to say. A lot of people are dealing with depression and dealing with feeling this deep sense of loneliness and feeling this hopelessness or helplessness in many different ways when it comes to maybe trying to figure out how you can keep up with the bills, or trying to figure out how you can, progress to where you're trying to go, with not only external pressure kind of standing in the way a bit, but maybe there are some things that we are, identifying now that they're coming to the surface. We're identifying what it is within us where we're standing in our own way. So whether this is about self-limiting belief systems, and whether this is about whether we need to find forgiveness within ourselves, a lot of us need to find this right now. And a lot of us need to find a lot more constructive ways to reach an amicable conclusion and a win-win conclusion, Make it a win-win situation. And I see a lot of people lately, especially as well, and not just on social media, but in general, a lot of people, because they're ego tripping, a lot of people feel the need to have to come across as though they're better than everybody, or they know more than everybody, or, like I said before about the petty Bettys, petty Pages, and petty LaBelles are coming out the woodwork, and you're just trying to figure out how you can get them all up off of your space, dog. Because they all up on you. They, and they doing a little bit too much though. And so a lot of us have had to deal with not only a lot of the drama going on around us, but things within ourselves where we have to purge and cleanse and release. But we have to confront these things first for us to fully be able to release them and let them go and find forgiveness, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Now, I want to talk about how we can protect ourselves and how we can raise our vibration, because one thing that I've noticed, even with my experience, and you know what? Oh my God, I almost forgot to tell you guys about the update on Big Bertha and Wishy Washy. So I'm going to tell you guys that little mini story time in a minute, and y'all just don't flip out. It's actually a good story time, believe it or not, but just give me a second. So we're going to update y'all on that. But I just want to say right now, the way to protect yourself, I want to reiterate this. Black tourmaline and shungite are two crystals that I swear by, because they're good protection stones. They allow you to help ease some of the growing pains along our journey of ascension and the awakening process. And so I feel like I should mention once again, you guys can definitely look up the metaphysical properties. I suggest everyone do their research on these as well, just to see how it could benefit you. But I will also be adding these items to my shop. So if you guys would like to wait for me to do so, I will be putting those up very soon. But I really feel like we need to arm ourselves with more knowledge and wisdom on ways to protect ourselves throughout the chaos, right? And so that's one way. I always drink my water with black tourmaline. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there it is. And I always drink that every single day. And I swear it's been really helpful. So check those out, especially to those dealing with depression. And I know another one is also lepidolite. And this one is really good for people with PTSD, sleep disorders, and different things like that, like anxiety, things like that. So now that we've covered that, another way that we can combat the chaos and the negative energy and the psychic attacks is by raising our vibration and keeping it raised. And so lately I've been trying a little bit something new with my diet. Some of you guys may feel led to maybe cut out red meat, or maybe maybe your body is reacting in ways where it's like, you know what, I used to be able to eat this and be fine and love it, but now it's not making me feel good. So you have to change your diet. And one thing I've noticed is, including kale and making more salads, having more leafy greens, things that have been kissed and caressed by the sun, right? And so I've noticed a shift in mood, drinking more water, and of course, knowing ways like apple cider vinegar we've talked about, and ginger tea. These things boosts your, immune system. And it also helps with those of you that are just discovering some psychic abilities that you may have, focusing on a more plant-based diet, maybe even some fish or seafood or something. Or if you're allergic to that, maybe eating more poultry rather than red meat, and see if that can help you a bit. But I will say that eating more leafy greens has improved my mood. And also another thing that I've noticed is working out. We need to sweat, you guys. And the more that we sweat, whether it's through making love or whether it's through jogging, yoga, whatever it is that you choose to do to get that body right, I suggest that you do that, not just because of, vain reasons, but do it because it's good for you. And it helps to increase that vibration, right? So you're staying high vibe the more that you're moving, the more that you're going, right? Don't let anyone or anything slow you down, right? So the more that we accelerate, the more that we're moving, we're not staying stagnant and in place and sedentary. I notice that helps to keep the vibe raised. Rose petals. Now, I know the men that watch this channel, they may be like, now hold up now, Mistress Lotus, you're getting a little bit too feminine. You need to turn down the femininity a little bit. But I'm gonna just lay it down like this. Rose petals are definitely perfect, especially when it comes to shielding your aura and just helping you to lift your spirits. Rose petals are really good for that. And check out my spiritual bath kits that I will be adding to the Etsy site as well, linked below. I will be adding spiritual baths for those of you that are interested, because I add rose petals. But anyways, these things can help maintain your high vibe, making sure you get your sexy on, right? Sure that you work with the earth, right? So if you guys have been wondering about gardening, or if you guys have been worrying, wanting to go outside more and get some fresh air and be next to the trees, go to the park, maybe go to the beach, these things will help reinvigorate you. It will help reignite that solar plexus, which is your center, right? So I'm seeing a lot of good things develop from that, especially the more that you guys do focus on trying to stay high vibe and stay out of the way, because as stated before, they're ego tripping. And all the little petties are just running around wreaking havoc. They're trying to make you believe that 2 + 2 = 5, but we know that it equals 4 though, right? So I also wanted to make a point to say something in regards to, different deities. If I advise everyone to explore what's been coming to you. So if you've been noticing a lot more videos on a specific deity, research it, see if there's a reason behind why they're coming to you and what they need to say. There are a lot of messages right now that are coming through. And we definitely need to quiet the mind and keep, maintain our peace and keep the spirit happy, And the more that we are living for the spirit, thank you so much, it's a vibe. The more that we are living for the spirit rather than living for the flesh, the more we can see our blessings flow in, and the more momentum we will gain towards our desires and towards our goals. The more that we continue to cut out the Decepticons and clowns, And the people that are out here ego tripping, the more that we continue to stand up to the proverbial bullies in our lives, whether it is legally, whether it is people within family, friends, whoever it is that you know, it's time to stand up for what's right. And I see so many of us are doing so. Some of us may feel led to shamanism. Some of you guys may discover abilities within yourself, such as being an empath. The more that you start to explore this area, and mentioning the deities prior, I mean, this is all relative to what you need to know to be able to level up, just quite literally. A lot of us have already started our journey of the level up. But some of us may have stalled. But now is the time to go inward and realize that sometimes things have to fall apart so your future can come together. And especially to those of you discovering your abilities, coming across Greek gods and goddesses, Hindu gods and goddesses, maybe even Egyptian queens and kings, Nefertari, Nefertiti, Cleopatra, Anubis, different things like this. And this is so funny because I decided today to use the Egyptian tarot while we're on the topic. Let me just lace that up real quick. Here we have all of this wisdom being unlocked within us that's been encoded within our DNA since birth. We're grounded in our knowledge. And I feel like a lot of people may be trying to knock you off course in some way. But it's not working anymore. And a lot of us discovering our abilities when it comes to shamanism, when it comes to the different deities you're coming across, when it comes to maybe even some of you experiencing lucid dreaming and astral projection, dealing with receiving more psychic downloads and light codes, especially to those of us dealing with the Schumann resonance. All of these things are kind of at work in our lives, and it may be causing complications, but they're more blessings in disguise. But while we're going through it, because we're so close to some of the things that we're dealing with and going through, we may not be able to see the blessings just yet. But maintaining an attitude of gratitude, finding ways to get your justice in a diplomatic fashion to where it's everybody wins. You know what I mean? Because I've seen a lot of people, because they're ego tripping, I've seen a lot of people always try to one up the next guy, or have the best car, or have the best girlfriend, or the best boyfriend, or the best this or the best that. And they have to show it off to feel some sort of validation and self-worth. But all of that extra stuff, we know doesn't define who we are. It doesn't define our value as a person and who we are character-wise. A lot of us are starting to awaken to these things more so. And especially to those of us dealing with the lockdown and struggling with loneliness and depression, things like that. You know how I discussed the channeled messages about more suicides, homicides, car wrecks, all these different things happening. It's just, everything is just all over the place. And it's not to fear monger or any of that, but especially when I noticed in multiple collectives for a couple of weeks, I've been picking up on this energy where it's like, don't go out at night, stuff like that. And that wasn't to add to the fear that's already being put out within all of the media and stuff like that, but it was just something that was coming through and I couldn't ignore it. And so I'm starting to see all of this come to a head. And one thing that I've noticed for sure is connecting back to the earth and getting into, you know, your creativity and doing what you love to do. Find what it is that makes your heart sing. Some of you guys may be into music or into drawing and painting or into, you know, the performing arts in some way. These things will help you to express yourself and to release any loneliness and depression that you may be dealing with. And I understand, especially to those of us dealing with financial woes, these things alone are enough to cause an immense amount of anxiety, depression, and stress. But one thing I will say is that we will be able to overcome. And the more that we continue to the more we continue to express our truth, the better off we will be. I see the Seven of Swords reversed, you guys. Somebody is feeling guilty. And somebody, especially when we've talked about law, legal situations, they're lost, but we didn't. All we're doing is manifesting abundance. We've decided to embrace this new beginning that we have. We've decided to focus on stepping outside of our comfort zone, breaking past our own barriers, fighting for what we believe in, finding multiple streams of income, finding multiple opportunities to indulge and turn your dreams into a reality, even opportunities in love and opportunities to move. Some of you guys may be wanting a new home, or maybe you're working on, finalizing paperwork with that. Things are moving forward. Things are going well. And to those of you that are dealing with legal issues, don't fret, because unless you're a hater and a dusty, crusty, and a little musty, then you're good. Because as long as you're not those two things, you will be seeing a windfall of money. You will be seeing a world of possibilities pour into your life. Some of us may be presented these new opportunities through a new job, a new house, a new car. Some of us are paving our own way for these things. And a lot of us are starting to learn and realize that we attract what we are. We do not attract what we want. And especially when it comes to people surrounding us, you know the saying, and you know how it goes. Look at your 5 friends, your top 5 friends that you're always talking to and hanging with, and I can show you that person's character. We're really like that alone, that realization has set in. And now we're moving onward and upward more so than we have in a while for some of us. Now, something told me to flip this top card, y'all. And this right here, I'm getting tired of seeing this person. Look at him. Look, let me pull this back a little bit because the light is light as hell. So I keep seeing this energy come out. Y'all tell me I'm wrong. Y'all in the chat and y'all watching the playback. I have been seeing this Knight of Swords reverse come out over and over, damn near for months now. This person is so all over the place. For some of us, it could be a male that's an air sign, or just someone that has a really craptastic communication style. This is somebody that is impulsive. They're very violent. They're vulgar. They hold so much anger within themselves that when one small thing happens, they just impulsively go off the handle. Hey, Mustang girl. Good to see you. Caught a stream. Now, this person right here who has a mouth on them, and they just begging to be slapped in it, girl. They are begging for it. Going around, causing problems, stirring up drama, stirring up mess, posting subliminal posts on social media. Somebody that is just really, they do too much and they're moving too fast. Like they're and you know what? I'm gonna cut the deck right here. We don't need to be shuffling all day. Let's just get into this, right? The world, baby. Hold up. Let me pull this back so you could see it very clearly. Let me pull this back so you can see this very clearly, because the world is here. I almost had a tongue twister on my hand. There we go, y'all. We got it. Keep going, right? Keep going. Even when you fall, keep going. Dust it off. Because either way, the world is here. And we're starting to see a lot more synchronicities in our life. So a lot of us are seeing a lot more angel numbers such as 333, 777, 888, you know, or maybe you're seeing the double digits of these numbers, same difference. Maybe you're looking down at the clock and you're seeing 1144 all the time. Maybe you're seeing 1234 on the clock. Maybe you're always seeing 911 on the clock. You know, all these different numbers have a specific meaning. Now, I have a video, actually, you guys can go back and check on my channel where it's titled Synchronicities and Angel Numbers. And you can go and see what those numbers mean specifically. But just to give you a gist of what they mean, you know, the abridged version, basically everything is going to turn out in our favor. A lot of us are really wanting to travel and see the world. And now that everything is starting to open back up and time, you know, passes, we'll be able to do this. And I see a lot more, not just synchronicities, but I'm seeing a lot more opportunities. A lot of us are looking for homes. You know, maybe some of us are first-time home buyers, or maybe we're trying to find something better, something more efficient in a better area. A lot of us are wanting to go out, meet up with people, have a good time, you know, just get out, enjoy yourself and enjoy life. And everything is coming full circle with all of these moves that we're getting ready to make. So karma, whether you think it came, you think it already went around and it missed you, especially during these 4 retrogrades, it's going to come back around and get you. So whatever's been done in the dark is coming out. And these cycles are finally being closed. The doors to our baggage is closed. And you know what? Not just air signs that I'm seeing, you guys. Some of you guys could be dealing with a Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, where all this energy, all this drama may be coming from that just came through. I'm seeing somebody driving too fast. Maybe they're an angry, you know, they're an angry person in general. So if they feel like somebody cut them off, they'll probably just cuss them out and want to fight and want to get out and fight. Just be wary of people like that. These type of people we need to not say anything to, right? Now, y'all remember that story time. And you know what? Let me put this down real quick because I'm so glad I brought up that old story time. So y'all in the chat almost let me just completely bypass that. So pause the reading, you guys. I'm so glad that we're not getting into the nitty gritty just yet, because here is an update. Okay, are y'all ready? Drum roll, please. Update on the story about Big Bertha and Wishy Washy. So you guys check this out. So I'm walking outside, you know, and I'm taking out the trash again. Here we go. Now, at first, this story started off bad with that. But watch how I switch it up, right? Like an alchemical process and transmutation on that ass. Check that out. So hold up. So I'm walking out. I'm taking out the trash. And I happen to see the same neighbor that we had that physical altercation with. She was popping off at the mouth. And then she started swinging it. So I had to beat that ass, right? So I beats that ass. And then I saw her today. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to say something to her. And so I was like, hey, you know, mama, you know, can I talk to you peacefully, please? You know, and she was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, look, I'm going to be real with you, you know, just do it like that. I don't want to I don't want to press charges on you, because the police had called me back not that long ago, you know, and she was like, you can't call. And I was like, all right, you know, let me finish this part. It's not, you'll understand why I'm saying this. So she's like, okay. So I said, I got a phone call from the police and they asked me if I wanted to press charges. And I was honest with them and said, I really didn't know, because I said, I'm dealing with the situation from my past with an ex who would always call the police after starting shit, and making things seem bigger than what they are. And I know what that's like to have an unnecessary situation go down and ruin your life in a sense. So I know how that goes. And on top of that, we were cool before. So I was like, you know what? I really don't want to take it there. I really don't. But I just want to make sure that you understand that I have the possibility to do so. But I want to come to you like a woman and address the situation and see if we can't just reach, an amicable conclusion, and everything can be copacetic. So we talked. And I explained everything. I'm not going to go into all the details of what I said, but basically I just put it to her like, look, what I was trying to say before we started throwing bows and throwing fists. Okay. This is why I beat your ass. And this is why I stayed away from y'all, because I was trying to avoid all this extra, girl. And somehow the extra came back around to say what's up to me. And I'm not having that. So basically, long story short, that situation has been resolved. And I just decided, look, I can put our differences to the side. But right now, she was talking about how she was dealing with a lot of stress. She's taking care of 2 grown boys by herself. And, I don't know her struggles, but she was just telling me all this stuff. And it just kind of put everything into perspective, that we all have things that we're dealing with right now, whether it's loneliness, depression, or whether it's frustration and anger, or whether it's bitterness and resentments. These things are starting to come up. And it's good if we take that opportunity to confront it, judge ourselves in a fair manner, knowing that we're human and we're fallible and we make mistakes, but also knowing that we have to take responsibility for our own actions and what we say, right? And what we do, right? So as long as we're holding ourselves accountable and other people are doing the same, because I see somebody here that doesn't want to hold themselves accountable, I just wanted to kind of tie that in, because now that everything's good with me and her, I don't have to worry about having to do all the extra stuff, right? And I'm going to just leave it like that. Like, this is the energy that I was leading into talking about. Forgiveness, finding forgiveness, releasing that baggage and releasing the anger, not necessarily giving people a pass, but getting your justice. Sometimes you just got to beat that ass. People are coming up and putting their hands on you and you didn't expect it. I would hope that you would beat their ass so you don't get your ass beat. But that's how I see it. You have a right to defend yourself. But as long as we're not going around instigating some mess like this person is, then I'm sure that we could reach an amicable conclusion, such as the one that I had reached with my neighbor, right? So me and Big Bertha are cool, and it's kind of funny because Wishy-Washy, that is so funny while I'm talking about an air sign. Wishy-Washy is a Gemini girl. Okay, Wishy-Washy is a Gemini girl. And this person is just, So leading into and leading back into the energies of the reading itself, I see that a lot of people are letting out their aggression, whether it's verbally, physically, or what have you. And I just really feel like a lot is going on mentally, even within ourselves, where maybe we have a lot of different stressors. Maybe we're stretched a little bit too thin. We're taking care of the cars, all the bills, and having to, maintain ourselves and all this other stuff that we're trying to juggle. And so a lot of us may be feeling a bit scatterbrained, especially when, we're faced with certain people here that just have a really shit communication style. They just really have a problem with projecting their anger and issues onto other people. Now, 3 of Pentacles, I like seeing this because a lot of us are focused on going back to school. We're focused on finding multiple streams of income to capitalize on and to create something consistent where we can have something to rely on and have that long-term financial security. And I'm also seeing some of us may be considering a roommate situation where there's 3 people, or some of you may have 1 to 3 kids, so 1 or 2 or 3 kids for some of you, where you're finding, different areas that you could work with to help you sustain your own wealth within the home, and to keep the food on the table, and to keep, you know what I'm saying, get everything that you need, and even some of the things that you want. I'm seeing a lot of us finding help with that. We're able to collaborate with other people that are of like minds and that are kindred spirits. And you know what? While we're talking about kindred spirits, I just want to reiterate the fact that I do have this Discord server, and I suggest everyone check that out when you guys get a chance as well. This Discord server is a free app that anyone can download on Android and iPhone, where it can be like a text chat or it can be a voice chat. So I just think that that was something that was cool and a good idea for you guys. And I always have it at, scroll down in the description box. There's a lot there. But once you scroll to the bottom, you'll find the Discord links. And you guys are more than welcome to join, because while we're on the topic of kindred spirits and like minds, I feel like the more that we build on that community and to focus on the people that not only reciprocate what we're bringing to the table, but they also are of like minds. They're also, in the same area of actually having long-term goals and actually working towards those goals. This is who we're coming across. And the more that we're collaborating and working with these types of people, rather than the people like this starting shit and all that extra stuff and feeding into their nonsense by giving it attention, now we're quick to cut off a lot of people that are like this, and we're only focused on these kindred spirits. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this world card, look, I can't talk today, y'all, but we're gonna get it out today. We're gonna get it out today, girl. Okay, because we already saw the Ace of Pentacles, right? And now we have the World card. We're going to put it together in a second. But I just want you to look at the beauty that you have to look forward to. There are so many different paths that we could go down that would just be filled with nothing but blessings once we get rid of the people that do nothing but try to manipulate our mind, try to use intimidation tactics, word salad and all this extra stuff, violent people, No, we need to throw the book at them. And especially when I keep talking about law, talking about police, talking about, actually being in court, things of that nature, dealing with things within the government. A lot of us that are angry about what's going on within the government and how slow they've been when it comes to, helping the people. They're so quick to give money to businesses, mainly bigger businesses rather than the little guy as well. But the point still remains that they're moving turtle slow, even less than that when it comes to the people. A lot of us are angry about that as well. I'm seeing, there could be some things going on within the family and within the home, even landlords here, where I'm seeing that there's a lot of shit talk going on. I'm also seeing where we do have to go the legal route with certain people, because this is also, someone who is a thief. They're a liar. They're a cheat. This is somebody that tries to, do insurance fraud or do, identity theft and things of that nature. A lot of us are dealing with this kind of energy on a broad scale. So everything may not apply to you, but take what resonates and leave the rest. Now, this here, especially when it comes to government and a lot of us coming together and really speaking our minds about this, being angry about how things are not being done properly, and I'm also seeing situations where even within a relationship or a marriage here, things are stable, you know what I mean? And this definitely can refer to a lot of people that have kids too. But when it comes to either one of those scenarios, I really see that somebody has a mouth on them and we just need to put them in their place, period, point blank. And there seems to be a lot of conflict right now. A lot of us may be dealing with a lot of religious people that are very rigid and dogmatic in belief. Maybe we have not just family members that are this way, but maybe just people surrounding us that are very judgmental in this sense. We've dealt with a lot of people that have taken our kindness for weakness. We've dealt with a lot of people that have judged us not only, for our spiritual beliefs, but they tried to judge a book by its cover and judged poorly. And so I'm also seeing that a lot of us are rebelling. We're rebelling against the church, especially after finding out some of the atrocious and disgusting and horrendous things that have been going on within the church, as well as within government, as well as in our daily lives. It seems that everywhere these revelations are starting to come to the surface. And whatever conflicts need to be dealt with, justice will be served regardless of whoever thinks that they're coming out on top. Because regardless of whether they're ego tripping or not, we're still leveling up and glowing up. And it's a consistent journey with that. A lot of us are starting to realize self-care, self-love, and not really like listening to the hype of what everybody else has to say and being your own judge of character. And being your best self, only competing with who you were yesterday rather than competing with everybody else. Because I see a lot of people in the spiritual community, especially, that always have to come out on top. Maybe somebody's getting angry that now they're falling off their little pedestal, their little ivory tower. Maybe they're getting struck from that little ivory tower that they felt like they had that was solid, but it wasn't. And I'm seeing a lot of people, not just in the spiritual community, but in the church as well, government officials, where a lot of us are angry about the fact that, you know, they basically treated us like we were stupid. We're far from stupid. And now there's a revolt. There is a revolution happening. And you all know that the revolution will not be televised, but it will, in fact, be occurring. And a lot of us have finally realized that we need to take the lessons from the losses. So whether we've had to walk away from family members where they chose to disown us, or maybe we were the black sheep or the scapegoat of the family, maybe we dealt with abuse in the family, maybe there are some things concerning money with family members where they were trying to steal from us, or finding people that didn't value us when they had us, and now they're seeing that all of this other stuff in their life is getting shaken up. Quite literally, a lot of us are dealing with the fact that we have to take the lessons from those losses and to move on and apply what we've learned, and to not let all of the petty things that have been said to us and all of the hateful comments, not to let these things get to us. And especially when it comes to somebody doing something illegal, such as assault, such as thievery, things like that, arson, things like that, these people are going to have to be held accountable for their behavior. So people need to choose wisely. And there are a lot of people, like I said before, who are really impulsive, who do not choose wisely. So we have to be mindful of that. We not only have to be defensive a little bit per se when it comes to these hateful and impulsive people, but we also have to be offensive. So we always have to be on guard just to make sure that we're watching how other people are being defensive. Is it too much? Is it too much in the ego? Are they ego tripping? Or do they have a valid point, and can we reach an amicable conclusion, once and for all, without having to take it to the point of no return? Now, what I do see to look forward to, you guys, is that even though we're coming out of conflict and chaos, or even though we're maybe even currently enduring that, still we shall overcome. Especially to the entrepreneurs out there. Maybe you guys are looking for investors for your business. Most of you guys are starting to take the lead, especially to those of you that are creative. So maybe you guys, like I said before, dancing, singing, making music, and things of that nature, performing arts. I see a lot of us are moving forward with this and finding a lot more fulfillment with these things that we are indulging in here creatively, as well as when it comes to the entrepreneurs out there who maybe some of you guys want to become a spiritual advisor. Maybe you guys would like to be, a healer or something of that nature. Maybe you want to be a counselor. Maybe you're looking to become a mentor, or maybe you're looking towards mentorship to become one yourself, things like that. I see a lot of this really helping elevate our status, elevate our consciousness, and elevate our emotional state, our mental state. And with all this conflict that we're coming out of, all of these things will be rectified, especially going the legal route. Some of these situations could involve, eviction notices. Somebody may have been kicked out. And it's so funny how I brought up Wishy-Washy in the update with Wishy-Washy and Big Bertha. That situation, shout out to Kali News. She's usually in here, but I don't see her now. But if you're watching the playback, baby, that person has indeed been kicked out, and I don't have to deal with him anymore. I don't have to see his face anymore. So things like that. I feel like a lot of these things are getting rectified. And when it comes to, especially, focusing on your family, maybe you guys are taking care of your parents, or maybe you guys are taking care of just focusing on your money and your children and your business. Some of you guys are really wanting to start a business, and I say, Go for it. Now's the time to hit the ground running and to put your all into it. Don't let anyone or anything knock you off course. Don't let anyone or anything distract you. And don't let any naysayers and any of these hateful, judgmental people bring you down, because I see a lot of that going on. And especially when it comes to court, if you guys are dealing with court with somebody that likes to do things dirty, maybe some of you guys are worried about a custody battle with someone here. Somebody may have been making threats, quite literally, on somebody's life, or maybe they're just, again, intimidation tactics. And I see these things working in your favor. So any legal matters, let them, just make sure you have your evidence and everything that you need, because these people are just all talk and no walk, and they're a thief of time, energy, and joy. And so what we need to do, remember how I brought up that whole aspect of needing to forgive ourselves and needing to release our baggage of resentment and bitterness. This speaks volumes, because this is in the foundation, you guys. This is what's tripping me out. This is in the foundation, and this is all about this Three of Swords reversed, forgiveness. To everybody that hurt you, to the people in your family that hurt you and betrayed you, to the people that even brought harm upon you or wished death upon you or made threats or tried to make you feel less than, these things are being rectified, and karma is coming for that ass. I'm going to just leave it like that. And now that you're finding forgiveness, keep going with that, because not only, forgiveness is not about the other person and the other people, mind you. It's not about the abuser. It's not about the predators. It's not about the cluster B personality disordered people either. It's about us and what we do with the cards that we were dealt. And what we need to do with those cards is to put them down, deal our hand, and release it and walk away. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Now, y'all get what I'm saying, but release the pain. And a lot of us are purging this right now. Some of us may have a verbally abusive father, somebody that stole something from us that's a dad, or, I see a lot of that coming through as well. Guys, be wary of your information, because there's somebody trying to steal credit card information. They're trying to steal bank account information. Don't answer any emails asking for any of that information. Don't answer any questions about social security numbers. Don't answer any of those kinds of questions, because I see somebody trying to, I swear these messages are coming in so fast. I keep stumbling over my words. There are people coming in that are trying to steal your information. Don't let people come up to you and gossip about all kinds of stuff, and don't get caught up in everybody else's gossip, because what I'm seeing here is somebody's going to fall on their own sword from talking all that shit, while we continue to build our brand, build our business, seek counseling, seek mentorship, and to focus on continuing the leveling up and the glow up. Because look what we have to look forward to. See, this is in the near future, you guys. This is the Ten of Pentacles. A lot of us are focused on wanting financial security, and a lot of us have built and established or are establishing a firm foundation on your own. A lot of us are going through a lot of endings. So we're ending a lot of friendships, ending a lot of associations, ending even a career field, ending, a job, that you had, or ending a living situation that you had, closing the door to family members. And you're striking out on your own. You know within you what you need to do. You know within you, deep down inside, you know who you need to be with and who you don't. You know who you need to let go of. And money is looking good. See, I don't see too many issues with this money, though, because this Ten of Pentacles is looking beautiful, you guys. I see that we are establishing generational wealth to those of us focused on gaining assets. A lot of us are focused on buying a new house, quite literally getting a new car. You guys are being able to do so, especially to those of you that are creative. Maybe you guys are into crafts. Maybe you guys make clothes, things of that nature. Maybe you guys are a content creator on YouTube. All of these endeavors that you've decided to embark upon, even though they are unconventional, they are giving you more money than you ever got through doing something conventional, such as, the status quo of jobs that we have to choose from, right? Some of us are realizing that what we had degrees in didn't give us nearly the same amount of money that we're getting embarking upon our hobbies and our, creative pursuits. Now we're getting more money from these things than we ever did from what we got a degree in. So I see a lot of good things here, and I see a lot of people trying to take advantage of that. They see our success. They see our abundance, our happiness, health, wealth, stability, prosperity. They see that we're starting to, dress up more just because we're dressing up for ourselves. That's to the men and women. We're dressing up for ourselves and don't give a damn who has a problem with it. We know who we are, and we're starting to find that confidence within our abilities. We're starting to find that confidence within who we are and even how we look. But we know that there's a lot more than just a package to a person. We know that there's a lot more than just the surface. And so we focus on that more so. And when we see red flags, we're out the door. But a lot of us are seeing more success, more stability, more happiness and abundance by focusing on, to those of us that have kids, focusing on our kids and focusing on our career. Creative pursuits as well. These things are where you will strike gold, quite literally. Now, let me lay the rest of this out. Okay. See, I knew that was coming. You guys are going to trip out when y'all see the advice card. And y'all are going to flip shit when y'all see this outcome. Oh my God. Thanks for the likes, guys. This is crazy, dude. Okay, so, and you know what? Some of us may be finding a deeper commitment, but I think that there could be somebody that may be trying to break up a home or break up a family or something like that. There's something going on here with that too. Somebody's going to find out about triangulation as well, because that just came through as I'm looking at everything collectively, as looking at the bigger picture rather than kind of paying attention too much to the details, right? Seeing the forest for the trees. Yeah, everything's coming to a head here. Somebody may have moved too fast with something here, or someone, maybe they moved too fast with somebody. Now, when I see situations where some of us may have come out of a third party situation and we may be going into a situation where we feel stable, we're a good team, we make good money together, things like that, I also see that energy coming in. And maybe some of us may have found this new relationship or new opportunity with somebody that may have kids. That could also be what that's referring to. Now, when it comes to jobs, you guys, some of you guys definitely dealt with corruption, especially when it comes to different organizations like nonprofit organizations, charities, a lot of things that have been done under the radar that shouldn't have been done. That's going to start coming out, you guys. Some of us should have been given our inheritance here, or maybe a house or property, and there were some family members that were trying to take it, but we ended up getting it here. Some of us are quite literally in court in regards to a settlement, and a lot of us are winning that case. Now, I want to say something, you guys. I want to say this, and you know what? I saw that 5 of Wands reversed under this strength card here, but I'm going to leave it at that, because you know what? I love that I pulled until I saw that, because some people are just super petty. As stated before, petty betties. They're out here running wild, girl. And the more that we show a silent sense of strength, the more that we embody the energy of the 5 of Wands reversed, which is all about staying hyper-focused on our goals and avoiding the arguments, staying out of everybody's drama, staying away from the chaos, keeping to the self, not getting dragged into somebody's bait where they want you to react and act out of character, not feed into the bait of them trying to fight us and any of that. As long as we handle things logically and to show a silent sense of strength, herein is where this energy starts to become more noticeable over time. The world energy, the success and abundance, everything is falling into place. Watch, to everybody that's in the chat and everybody watching the playback, I want to make a little bet. Y'all can come back to this video later on down the line in your lives, and you can leave a comment talking about how this is accurate, girl, because manifestation on point, success, health, wealth, everything is falling into place. You'll start to see that after you see this video. And it will come from making a decision here where some of us need to just focus on maintaining our own balance, only hang around people that maintain integrity, only hanging around people that don't have to showboat, that don't have to get all loud and boisterous, that don't have to feel the need to talk shit and start drama on social media or to your face. The more that we show this silent sense of strength, even in the midst of a beast baring their teeth, we will be able to conquer our enemies and conquer our obstacles. Now, one thing I'm noticing as well, too, some of us definitely could be dealing with a Leo because I'm seeing that energy coming through strong, as well as Taurus and, of course, the fire and air signs. This right here, though, that I've noticed, and the reason why I keep reiterating on the Strength card is because I noticed this Nine of Swords as well, and this Eight of Pentacles reversed. So a lot of us may be procrastinating on some ideas that we want to move forward with. So some of us may want to start working on, a new creative project. So maybe you want to make a new song, make a new outfit, or what have you. And I'm seeing a lot of anxiety. Maybe you guys are dealing with a lot of anxiety. Like I said, lepidolite, I put the names of the crystals in the chat, and I'll leave them in the comments once this video is posted. But definitely some of you guys would do well with working with those and meditating with those crystals, black tourmaline, shungite, and lepidolite, because there's a lot of anxiety. Somebody's losing sleep. Maybe somebody's having nightmares or the same nightmare here. I'm also seeing that there's somebody that's crying. Somebody has a lot of pain within them, because remember how I said earlier that somebody's feeling a lot of guilt. Remember that Seven of Swords earlier? Y'all thought I forgot, huh? No, that Seven of Swords reversed is everything to do with what's going on with this entire reading. Somebody is guilty and they know it. Somebody's been spreading lies, lying, cheating, stealing, stealing ideas, stealing content, things like that. The laws had to get involved, and now they're finished. They're through. We don't have to deal with it anymore. But when it comes to the anxieties over our empire that we're working on building, guys, please don't let the fear and doubts cloud your judgment. Keep acting. When you feel fearful, acknowledge that you feel that, but then get back to work. Meditate for a second. Sometimes when I'm hungry, it also messes with my mood a little bit. So some of you guys would do well. Pay attention to your diet. Maybe that could be what's causing the anxiety. Too much coffee could be causing anxiety. Staying up too late, not getting enough sleep, maybe wreaking havoc. Nightmares, maybe keep a dream journal. Do something to log everything that you're dealing with, to find maybe some sort of interpretation that makes sense to you about why you're dreaming about certain people, places, and things happening and waking you up out of your sleep. Some of you guys could be dealing with cold sweats or just dealing with sleep paralysis. Some of you guys may have dealt with that before or have dealt with it, presently or even in the future here for some of you. And a lot of us are just simply paralyzed with the fear of not being able to be successful. And we're not being consistent with our goals. For some of us, this isn't everybody, or maybe we're dealing with somebody like this, but we haven't been consistent with what we've been working towards when it concerns, our spirituality, and when it concerns our goals, ambitions, and creative pursuits. Some of us may have been procrastinating. Maybe that's all we've ever known is to procrastinate, and we haven't really been making as much of a consistent effort as we could have when it comes to building our empire and sustaining the success and abundance that comes with this. A lot of us are allowing the fear of success and or the fear of failure get in the way of many different good things here, or we could be dealing with a lot of people like this. To the people dealing with depression, especially with the exercise and sweating, drinking more water, eating more leafy greens. What are you consuming? Are you consuming negative news, news outlets every single day, or are you consuming positive things? Are you looking towards a mentor that could help you to, keep you on a straight and narrow throughout your journey of wanting success and establishing and building your empire, building your brand? You have to stay consistent. Somebody needs to hear this. Stay consistent on what you're doing, because what you're building, it may have been taking years for some of us, but keep going. Because even though it may seem like we're losing, in the end, we'll be winning. Now, I want to tap into what our shadow self is saying with these In the Shadows Oracle cards. And you know what? As a side note as well, look, I'm putting so many shameless plugs in this stream, but I just want to let you guys know what you have to look forward to. And I am, in fact, creating my own Oracle deck from yours truly. And when that is complete, I will also be posting that up on my Etsy shop. Okay, so guys, just be sure that you go and favorite the shop if you don't mind showing love and support to this channel and showing love and support for me. And just stay tuned for everything that I'll be adding. But I want to use these In the Shadows Oracle cards just to see not only what our shadow self is saying, but I want to see what the shadow selves of other people around us have been saying. And so let me do this, okay? So I see some Scorpio energy coming out again, Leo energy coming in strong, as well as Taurus. But I also see that Aries and Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you guys. And with this especially, you know, before I get to the In the Shadows, I see this Three of Cups reversed. I just happened to look to the side and notice this. A lot of us are focused on nurturing ourselves if we're worried about coming out on top of the competition, or if we're worrying about not coming out on top of the competition. Please do know you will be coming out on top as long as you stay consistent. Stop procrastinating and have faith in your abilities and have faith in your talents and in yourself. Believe in yourself. There seems to be a lot of insecurities that we may need to work through. Some of us are feeling emotionally blocked. Some of us are dealing with other people like this who are extremely immature. They're insecure. You know, maybe they have emotional outbursts at times. So maybe they'll start yelling at you one minute, or maybe they'll just start, you know, acting funny the next, or whatever. Somebody that's really moody, somebody that's blocked. And I feel like there's somebody here that's not really speaking how they feel, but I feel like somebody needs to say how they feel, because the more that they suppress these emotions and what needs to be said, the more that they are adding unnecessary baggage to their own lives. Now, this right here, I feel like somebody may be blocking somebody. So we may be blocking a Scorpio, Pisces, or even a Cancer here. And it's because of somebody having all of these issues with their insecurities and letting that stand in the way of establishing, you know, a healthy and fulfilling relationship. And it could be a situation where somebody has kids with somebody where this energy is prevalent as well. But whoever is having this outburst, you know, whoever has been really childish and trying to drag us in their drama, you know, a lot of this will be rectified. But if we don't speak how we feel, you guys, it's going to eat us alive. And that's just how I feel, because some of us may have been dealing with the bitterness and resentments of being cheated on, being triangulated, being lied to, being stolen from, you know, and all of the above, right? And a lot of us are focusing on self-care and nurturing ourselves, but there's still a lot that may be blocking us in some way, either emotionally, creatively, and or, you know, within our relationships. But I keep getting these references, you guys, because I had mentioned that earlier about seeing threes. And, you know, once again, and back with that Three of Pentacles from earlier, there's definitely a situation where somebody's been cheating, you guys. Maybe there's a situation where you're finding out there are certain friends that don't celebrate you and you're tired of it and you're done. You turned them all down. You realize they're never going to change. You realize that they're just taking you for granted. And so you're going along your own merry way without them. And, you know, we've talked a lot about investing in ourselves. You know, I see a lot of us are, in fact, spending more money on beauty products and spending money on, you know, getting new clothes and things like that, beautifying our home. And we're also focused on turning all of that love, compassion, and nurturing. We're turning all of that inward rather than seeking for it outward. Because some of us may have realized we keep attracting cheaters, liars, thieves, and all these kinds of energies that continue to block our blessings. But as long as we continue along this journey here, investing in ourselves, investing in our vision, regaining balance between work and home and work and play and all of that, we can start to turn things around. As long as we're not blowing our money on things that are just things, if they're not things that, make our money work for us, we need to start finding what it is that we've been investing in that's been draining us financially, and start focusing on ways of budgeting and putting our money into things that will create residual income. And I see a lot of us are starting to learn about these things. But stand your ground, because remember, like I said, with that Seven of Wands, continue to stand your ground, because a lot of people have a lot to say, and it's a lot of unfounded opinions. People are getting overly emotional. People are getting angry, and they're acting out of anger. They're acting out of impulse. And there's just a lot of people all over the place wreaking havoc wherever they go. And the more we stand our ground and continue just to keep to ourselves, right? Because, she's looking away from everybody. She's not even entertaining the nonsense. She's not even acknowledging the nonsense, unless it gets to a point to where she has to, right? But see, I just see a lot of people are testing you, and the universe is also testing us when it comes to how badly we want to achieve what we set out to achieve. How badly do we want to manifest our desires? How badly do we want to be happy? How badly do we want to find that partner who is faithful, who is faith-based? They have a faith. They are loving. They are understanding. They are respectful, and all of the above. How can we become the change we wish to see, even in the midst of naysayers and our adversaries? See, this is a test of your faith, you guys. Even when people don't understand you, even when people make you feel like an outcast, even if your family and friends that should have been there to support you haven't been supporting you, that doesn't matter, because you're going to end up proving them all wrong the more that you stay consistent. Don't let yourself procrastinate, and to keep going towards everything that you could ever want and desire. Be patient, stay strong. Stay focused is what I'm saying as well. I just needed to say that too. Some of us need to travel to appease our restlessness. And we need to focus on ways to curb our anxieties. Maybe, a lot of us are again, maybe we're overindulging in some way. What is it that we need to cut out? All right, let's see this. King of Wands. Show me the King of Wands. What is he trying to say? Okay, so we have 2 for that. Okay, all right. He has a lot to say today. Knight of Swords reversed. What does he have to say? Okay. I love myself enough to walk away. I'm waiting for an apology. Some of us could be dealing with an air sign where we've been waiting for an apology and they haven't come through with one. Some of us may be saying, I love myself enough to walk away because they won't apologize. And I feel like some of us, and if it's vice versa to the cross watchers, again, apply it to your situation, but maybe we're dealing with the shadow self of another person who's all angry and spouting off nonsense all the time. Maybe they're feeling that way. Maybe they feel like, oh, well, I love myself enough to walk away. Maybe somebody's quite literally saying that, or you should apologize to me, when really they were the aggressor the whole time. Now, I also see I fantasize about you and you are not part of my plan. So some of us could be dealing with a fire sign or a fatherly figure here. Somebody who may have kids who may be interested in us sexually because they fantasize about us. They may like our breasts. They may like our skin, our hair, our nails. They like how we, carry ourselves. They like that we're independent. They like that we are sexy, but also classy. They like that we have a heart and we're real. But this will also bring out the insecurities of other people, and people aren't going to like it. And somebody is really trying, this person knows that, and maybe we're telling this person you are not part of my plan, even though they fantasize about us, because we know that that's all that they really have to offer, for the majority of us, where that message is relevant. And we just don't want to invest in it right now. We have other things to worry about. Show me the Hierophant. Y'all are so quiet today. That's so funny. I hope these messages have been helpful to you guys. Okay, so 2 messages. You're so easy to see through, and I can still see you standing there. Wow. So I feel like a lot of us can see through a lot of people, and we can still see people just mouth agape, in shock, in awe, looking at us when we finally speak our truth and stand our ground and stand up for ourselves, and decide, no, I'm walking away. I'm done. I may be sexually attracted to you. Maybe that's our only level of chemistry we may have with certain people here, but we know that they will never apologize. You know, they're just ego based. And we can see through a lot of these people here. And it looks like they're still standing there, waiting for us to either come back or waiting for us to entertain their nonsense. Show me the Knave of Cups reversed. I hope you're happy for me. Okay, so some of us could be dealing with someone younger or someone who may be older and acts younger than us. Maybe somebody that had an outburst or something. I hope you're happy for me, and I never want to feel that way again. So alarm bells are ringing, you guys. I'm hearing them in the background. You may not hear them, but alarm bells are ringing. Fire, fire. Okay? Sound the alarm, because a lot of us just want to make not only our parents proud, but we want to make ourselves proud. And it just seems like we keep being met with resistance to that desire. And it's like you're getting to a point to where you're like, damn, you know, is it really too much to ask to be, you know, treated with respect? Or is it really too much to ask to be loved or what have you, you know? But now we're starting to come through that. And we're just at this point where we just want, you know, we just hope that everybody else is happy. You know, we realize that if we really loved somebody or claimed to love somebody, we would let them go. And a lot of us have gotten to that point to where now we just hope that everyone's happy for us, and we just want them to know we're happy for them. Show me the sun. Okay, so the sun's been wanting to say so much, you guys, but we're just going to focus on this one. I never want to feel that way again. I feel like a lot of us are liberating ourselves from the nonsense. You didn't imagine it, and I'm sorry. Yeah, somebody knows that they messed up. And they left us waiting for an apology. They watched us stand there and wait for them to make things right. And they still didn't do it, even when they had chance after chance after chance. And even though we may have this magnetic attraction to certain people here that this is referring to, we know that we never want to feel that way again when it comes to giving our all and getting nothing back. And that's not to say that we're giving expecting something in return. That's to say that we're giving out of love and not getting the same, even though we are worthy of receiving the same. And that's where the issue is. Somebody here is saying you didn't imagine it. So somebody is acknowledging the fact that they have a soul connection to us. So to the people that are dealing with twin flame relationships or soulmate relationships, things like that, maybe you feel like you are connecting on a soul level to someone here. And I feel like they're just saying that maybe it scared them. They don't want to feel the way that they did with us. Maybe it caused too much anxiety. But I see someone, I hope I will see you again sometime. That's crazy. Yeah. Somebody wants to see us again. Maybe somebody wants to sleep with us again. For some of us, some of us that resonates with. And I also see that we're not looking at each other here. A lot of us are really just focused on getting our lives together. And what's funny is before I even got to the In the Shadows card, I just realized that with this Wheel of Fortune reverse throughout this whole reading, you guys, as a conclusion, this speaks volumes to me, because the wheel reversed is all about sudden and unexpected changes, honey. So when we've talked about karma, baby, karma, this is a karma card, honey. And, somebody's on a downward turn because they decided to turn, everybody else's lives around them upside down. So now they're meeting the same fate. Somebody's going to find out real quick, just like that. They're not even going to know what hit them, except the fact that it was karma, and that karma is a bigger bitch than a lot of us in here watching right now, right? And so with this Wheel of Fortune reversed, somebody thought that things were going to move forward and everything was going to work out, but somebody's just going to finally decide, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to focus on my money, my business. I want to focus on my life. I don't want to focus on you. And look, I was careless. I was careless with you. I was careless. They know that they were careless with us. And they let the anxiety and fear get in the way. They let the fear of what everybody else would say get in the way. They let the fear of, religious differences get in the way. They let the fear of that soul connection, get in the way. They let the fear of whatever else we could add to the list. Show me the world. So I hope I will see you again sometime, comes out again. I'm happy that it's over. So some of us could be dealing with a situation where we're about to shut the door on a relationship, or we've already come out of that situation, having felt all this, all this craziness, right? And there's somebody here that says, I hope I will see you again sometime, but they're happy that it's over. So I think that somebody is good with just being friends with somebody here, because they know what comes with all of that, the insecurities of the other person getting in the way. And there's just someone here, you guys, y'all probably know who this is. I don't know how to let you go. They don't know how to let us go, because they've grown so used to us being there, but I don't think that we're really there the way that we used to be anymore. And it's been that way for quite some time, because they decided to push us away or do something that ended up hurting us, or say something that ended up hurting us. We forgive them. I forgive you is this next message. I forgive you. We forgive them, but we love ourselves enough to walk away. And this says, thank you for leaving me. That is crazy. Whoever this is, they didn't know how to let us go. And we would have just suffered the entire time had we not decided to walk away. And they know that. They triangulated us. They lied to us. They were careless. They didn't care. Sometimes I hear your voice in my head. See, they're thinking about us. They're trying not to think about us. They're waking up in the middle of their sleep, dreaming about us. There's somebody that's still hearing our voice in their head. They pretend I don't care. This is the card that just came out. I pretend that I don't care. There's a lot of people that are pretending like they don't give a damn about what they did. They're pretending that they don't care about us. They're pretending that they don't care about anything, because they don't want to show that side of themselves. They don't want to be vulnerable, because they never really have. But just to wrap this up, show me the wheel reversed. I don't really know you. Yeah, we're going to shut the door on strangers right now. So if we are receiving love offers, I think a lot of us are just going to continue to focus on ourselves, even though we may kind of like somebody as a friend. I think we're just at this point to where it's like, I don't really know you, especially to people in the past. There are a lot of people that have been wearing masks, and we've uncovered that. And so it's like, I don't really know you. You know what I mean? So, and they're not part of our plan. You know what I mean? Wow. I focused on you instead of my grief. I don't know what to say. We are more alike than I admit. Your body language says so much. There's so much happening, you guys. But all I know is forgiveness has been the message of the day. Finding forgiveness within yourself to release yourself from the shackles of bitterness, anger, and sadness. We need to release this. So that is what I have for you guys. Guys, be patient, be strong. And I'm also going to go back to doing these daily. You guys let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see more of that as well. But I am going to be coming on here every day unless I announce otherwise at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. So be sure to catch me then. And until next time, you guys, stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love. Mwah.